and is so typical of the Congress attitude that I venture to quote from it the following extract. Mr. Banerjee said, "I, for one, have no patience with those who say we shall not be fit for political reform until we reform our social system. I fail to see any connection between the two. Are we not fit for political reform because our widows remain unmarried and our girls are given in marriage earlier than in other countries? Because our wives and daughters do not drive about with us visiting our friends? Because we do not send our daughters to Oxford and Cambridge?" Cheers. I have stated the case for political reform as put by Mr. Banerjee. There were many who are happy that the victory went to the Congress. But those who believe in the importance of social reform may ask, is the argument such as that of Mr. Banerjee final? Does it prove that the victory went to those who were in the right? Does it prove conclusively that social reform has no bearing on political reform? It will help us to understand the matter if I state the other side of the case. I will draw upon the treatment of the untouchables for my facts. Under the rule of the Peshwas in the Maratha country, the untouchable was not allowed to use the public streets if a Hindu was coming along, lest he should pollute the Hindu by his shadow. The untouchable was required to have a black thread either on his wrist or in his neck as a sign or a mark to prevent the Hindus from getting themselves polluted by his touch through mistake. In Pune, the capital of the Peshwa, the untouchable was required to carry, strung from his waist, a broom to sweep away from behind the dust he treaded on, lest a Hindu walking on the same should be polluted. In Pune, the untouchable was required to carry an earthen pot, hung in his neck wherever he went, for holding his spit, lest his spit falling on earth should pollute a Hindu, who might unknowingly happen to tread on it. Let me take more recent facts. The tyranny practiced by the Hindus upon the Balai, an untouchable community in central India, will serve my purpose. You will find a report of this in the Times of India of the 4th of January, 1928. The correspondent of the Times of India reported that high-caste Hindus, viz. Kalotas, Rajputs, and Brahmins, including the Patels and Patwaris of villages of Kanaria, Bicholi Hafsi, Bicholi Madana, and of about 15 other villages in the Indore district of the Indore state, informed the Balai of their respective villages that if they wished to live among them, they must conform to the following rules. 1. Balai must not wear gold lace-bordered pugrees. 2. They must not wear dhotis with colored or fancy borders. 3. They must convey intimation of the death of any Hindu to relatives of the deceased, no matter how far away these relatives may be living. 4. In all Hindu marriages, ballet must play music before the processions and during the marriage. 5. Balai women must not wear gold or silver ornaments. They must not wear fancy gowns or jackets. 6. Balai women must attend all cases of confinement of Hindu women. 7. Balai must render services without demanding remuneration, and must accept whatever a Hindu is pleased to give. 8. If the balai do not agree to abide by these terms, they must clear out of the villages. The balai refused to comply, and the Hindu element proceeded against them. Balai were not allowed to get water from the village wells. They were not allowed to let go their cattle to graze. Balai were prohibited from passing through land owned by a Hindu, so that if the field of a balai was surrounded by fields owned by Hindus, the balai could have no access to his own field. The Hindus also let their cattle graze down the fields of balai. The balai submitted petitions to the Darbar against these persecutions, but as they could get no timely relief, and the oppression continued, hundreds of balai with their wives and children were obliged to abandon their homes in which their ancestors lived for generations, and to migrate to adjoining states, viz. To villages in Dar, Dewas, Bagli, Bhopal, Gwalior, and other states. What happened to them in their new homes may for the present be left out of our consideration. The incident at Kavitha in Gujarat happened only last year. The Hindus of Kavitha ordered the untouchables not to insist upon sending their children to the common village school maintained by government. What sufferings the untouchables of Kavitha had to undergo for daring to exercise a civic right against the wishes of the Hindus is too well known to need detailed description. Another instance occurred in the village of Zanu in the Ahmedabad district of Gujarat. In November 1935, some untouchable women of well-to-do families started fetching water in metal pots. The Hindus looked upon the use of metal pots by untouchables as an affront to their dignity and assaulted the untouchable women for their impudence.